welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Today, we're coming to you from the village of Signal Hill at the charming Bishop's Villa. From here, we'll give you the inside scoop on some of the most recent events taking place in Tobago. We'll also take you on a tour of this beautiful property in the next half hour. So stay with us for all the details. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. It is one of the most anticipated annual events in Tobago. The Tobago Heritage Festival 2022 is returning, and we'll tell you what's on this year's calendar. Tobago recently celebrated International Midwives Day 2022, honoring the island's midwives for their dedication. The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO, held a recent consultation with farmers and agro-processors. We've got the highlights. And later, the drama production Blood Money hits the stage. All these stories and more are up next when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, Bombay, Robinson Crusoe, and it is said it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come Tobago for holiday.
In our top story this week, the Tobago Heritage Festival is set to return after going virtual for the past 2 years. In this story, we sit down with the Chief Executive Officer of Tobago Festivals Commission Limited to get all the details. And if you haven't booked your ticket to Tobago as yet to be a part of the festival, here are a few reasons why you should. Have a look. That's a snippet of the Pembroke Salaka Feast, and this year patrons are getting the chance to fully immerse themselves in the Tobago Heritage Festival from July 22nd to August 1st. The theme is Reflect, Rebirth, Rejoice, reigniting the flames of our legacy.
When you look at the reflecting, looking back on heritage where it was, where it has come, we've been able to go through COVID. The rebirth has to do with looking at how we can re-engineer the festival to even make it even more attractive. And then, of course, the rejoice is that we're still here and we can still certainly do that.
This year's festivities include Plymouth Juve, Miss Tobago Heritage Personality, Lakeato Folktales and Superstition, Charlottesville Natural Treasures Day, Pembroke Salaka Feast, Heritage Calypso Monarch, Mariah Old Time Wedding, Emancipation Day celebrations, and the North Side Combined Talent Competition.
Castara, Lansumi, Palatave, and Bloody Bay come together, and they're doing a thing called North Side Passion. It's going to be on Castara Bay. That combined area is really about the strength of those communities working together. It's a talent competition. They actually have like a preliminary round, 2 preliminary rounds, and then they take the best of all, and they have this grand final. So it's going to be a talent competition, and there will be a lot of other guest artists that would also speak to the heritage theme and so on.
This year, a heritage micro market will also be featured.
There will be a heritage micro market in the FCB car park area all week, right? Which will showcase a number of the agencies on the island and a number of organizations and a number of vendors and creatives, right, in their own rights, who will all use that space to sell and to showcase items during that week.
For all details, you can visit the social media pages of Tobago Festivals. The Tobago House of Assembly is in the midst of pre-budget preparations. Later this month, the THA will present its fiscal request at the Assembly Legislature for fiscal 2023 before it's sent to central government. Chief Secretary, the Honorable Fali Augustine, is engaging stakeholders through a series of televised pre-budget consultations to take a closer look at key sectors of the economy. Here's this story.
Budget Day in Tobago is approaching. The Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy is pooling key information to allow the THA to detail a comprehensive budget request. That budget is to be presented and debated in the House later this month.
Over the past 3 weeks, we have been meeting with several subgroups to ascertain the needs of each sector within the Tobago economy. We have decided that we will do a series of virtual consultations to allow for greater inclusivity and participation.
The premiere episode of the Make It Make Sense pre-budget consultation program focused on the impact of the budget on women. It explored means to empower women and girls amidst modern economic challenges. Panelist and bank manager Tanil Harilal implores women to seek more innovative ways to become more marketable and self-sufficient.
While it is an important understanding to budget, it is also a good economic empowerment for women to have better choices. So some of the things that we can probably do and been thinking of is, learn a skill. So while you have the CPEP, you also have other things that you could trade. There was a nice bartering environment we had a few years back, understanding that, okay, we're not going to stay here for the CPEP, but we are doing other things to enhance and develop our living situation.
The second episode focused on the development of the creative sector, also known as the orange economy.
There is an increasing view among Caribbean governments and regional agencies that the creative industries can be an economic, or an engine rather, for economic growth and a mechanism for diversifying economies and improving global competitiveness. On account of this, there is a greater need to understand this trajectory of the creative.
Cultural icon Annette Alfred shares her take on the importance of the development of the creative sector and of the preservation of culture through education.
There was this interaction between schools, or education I should say, and the culture. That seems to be totally absent now. I am not seeing it. So my little grandchildren are suffering from the absence of that kind of training. I could see talent in especially one of them, but where is the opportunity for him? Why doesn't our curriculum respond to the call for us to learn what is ours so that we can make some money out of it?
The Make It Make Sense, a pre-budget consultation series, marries a mix of expert and layman perspectives on possible development with an interactive forum via social media platforms. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
Midwives play a significant role in heralding the new generation, caring for pregnant women and their newborns, and they were recognized for their work on International Midwives Day. We hear more from Omadara Mills.
Every new birth that you are able to safely deliver to us is a win for our country as a whole, for the society as a whole. You basically have in your hands the ability to deliver our greatest potentials in every single newborn baby.
One of the indicators we look at is the health of mothers and the health of babies. It is actually one of the few numbers that we look at internationally to determine how healthy a society is. And you play the most critical roles as it relates to the health of both mommy, in possibly the moment when she is most afraid, where she is most nervous, where she is probably most at risk. You play that absolutely critical role.
Those were some words of appreciation extended to midwives of the Tobago Regional Health Authority at this year's International Midwives Day celebrations in Tobago. On an annual basis, they play a part in the delivery of hundreds of babies on the island. For many mothers, midwives continue to support them even after leaving the hospital.
The midwives at the Scarborough General Hospital, they took care of me physically, mentally, and spiritually. They took their time to stay by my bedside many nights when I couldn't sleep. When I left the hospital after being a patient there for a month and maybe about 5 days, it was not just seeing them and say goodbye. My son, he will be 4 years old. And today, I could stand here safely and say, the nurses and the midwives at the Scarborough General Hospital has continuously been my roots.
Currently, there are 31 midwives on rotation at the Scarborough General Hospital's maternity department. The midwives were congratulated for the work they continue to do in spite of the threat of COVID-19.
The midwives have done an exceptional job during this past 2 years, having to deal with both COVID-infected mothers and non-COVID mothers. This is something that there was a bit of reluctance in the beginning, but I'm happy to say there are no issues, significant issues, with our management.
This year, International Midwives Day was observed under the theme 100 Years of Progress. The Tobago-based celebrations were done at the Scarborough General Hospital. Midwives are an imperative part of our healthcare system since they preserve the lives of our present and future generations. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but do not go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Stay with us. Bishop's Villa is spacious. It's got 3 large bedrooms and comfortably sleeps 10 guests. There's also a full kitchen, living room, conversational space and family room. Its beautiful modern decor and wraparound exotic garden are only matched by an exquisite view. You can also sit on the oversized balcony to enjoy the ocean breeze, which seems to create calm, peaceful moments to connect with your inner self. Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Now, the Telephone Workers Credit Union recently held its 72nd Annual General Meeting update in Tobago. Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine believes the meeting provides a bigger opportunity for the island. We have more details in this next story. Have a look. The Telephone Workers Credit Union in Tobago recently held its update meeting of the 72nd AGM for the year 2021. Here, audited accounts and reports were presented. The meeting was hosted for members in Tobago who could not attend the AGM in Trinidad in May.
We will share with you highlights of the meeting that was held in Port of Spain. The delay in hosting the meeting, which was normally held in March, was caused due to COVID-19 related challenges among the auditing team.
I am particularly pleased with the effort that I am seeing here on the part of TWCU for the single most reason that any of my colleagues in Trinidad will tell you when I sit at a meeting and any related matter comes up at the national level, my representation and concern is always the interest of ensuring that Tobago is able to derive mutual benefit from the Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago.
Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine sees the update meeting as an opportunity for a Tobago perspective. This, he says, is vital in any national movement.
And given that the Tobago economy is so service-oriented, it means that really and truly the Tobago economy was not fully reopened until about 3 months ago. And so we are behind many of our competitors in the region. And I had cause recently to remind the Bankers Association of this uniqueness of our economic space. And I'm happy that TWCU understands such uniqueness and is insistent on coming and speaking with its membership.
Honorable Augustine says he has a strong admiration for the country's credit union movement. He says it's a facility that places people before profit. The Chief Secretary says credit unions have a role to play in the development of small and micro enterprises.
If we did not have the credit union movement in the country, what we would have essentially would only be big banks dominating the space. And I shudder to think what that would mean for all of us. And while I have nothing personal against the big banks, I do use their services. I understand the absolute need, the necessity for credit unions in this space to create that sort of community-oriented banking.
The TWCU 72nd AGM Tobago Update meeting was hosted at the Mount Irving Bay Resort. The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO, continues to create an open and collaborative relationship with its stakeholders, particularly of farmers and agro-processors. In this story, Omadara Mills brings us highlights of the company's inaugural consultations, where participants learned about the various opportunities available to them. Here's more.
Shanice Charles and Shanae Winchester are co-founders of the company Dear Diet Enterprises. They've got a passion for adding value to local produce like dasheen and cassava. Over the years, they've manufactured products like seriously grounded dasheen cereal and cassava flour. In an effort to grow their business, Shanice attended the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO's first official consultation with farmers and agro-processors. Ms. Charles and other participants learned about issues such as farmland development and agricultural incentives. She also got to know about TADCO's criteria for partnering with farmers and agro-processors. Shanice was especially excited about one of TADCO's future projects, a market for agro-processors to showcase and sell their products.
Today was really informative, especially the agro-processor incentive that they are intending to start or in the process of starting. That stood out majority for us because we are agro-processors, and we, of course, will always look for incentive that could help the business. I think the consultation that TADCO put on today between the farmers and agro-processors was very important because it helps form a form of community between the farmers, the agro-processors, distributors. It helps create a cycle and a circle amongst us. Yeah.
Just over 90 stakeholders in the agribusiness sector attended the consultation. Small livestock farmer Rudolph Hippolyte shares what stood out for him during the presentations.
I think taking it and carrying it to the secondary stage where the life of the product would be lengthened, I think that is a very interesting development. And I like how they talk about identifying some products like the dasheen, the cassava, and breadfruit in particular.
The consultation was a joint effort between the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development and TADCO.
This will be the one of many. What will come out of this is that we're going to have the data as to who is producing what. We're going to, because there's a registration, we're going to reach out to them individually and have a further conversation with them if they need funding, what they are doing, have some inspections on their farm. Because Tobago's biggest issue is consistency, and we have to fix that. But we also have to engage persons in terms of what they are doing in terms of making it better.
The consultation also featured a question and answer session that helped address any concerns from the participants. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Isaiah Thomas became an instant hero at the Special Olympics USA Games. He starred with the bocce ball to earn this country 2 medals. His achievement is being celebrated, while Isaiah also has some special people to thank. Here are the highlights of his return.
A welcome deserving of a king. This is how Isaiah Thomas was greeted following his participation at the U.S. Special Olympics USA Games earlier this month. He returned to Tobago with silver and bronze medals earned in his singles bocce competition. Thomas is proud of representing his country and expressed special thank yous to a few people.
I'm proud to bring back a silver and a bronze for this great country. Everyone, I would like to thank my mother and my grandmother and my grandfather for supporting me my whole life, and my sister. my teachers, my classmates. I thank the principal for teaching me for so many years. And I'm just proud for everything all have done for me.
Buchi isn't just for special athletes, but is one of the special Olympic disciplines that provide opportunities for people with special needs. They get to enjoy social contact and gain self-confidence, while it also aids their physical development. Isaiah's coach says the athlete's success is a testimony to his hard work and determination. He's shown grit and determination since learning to play Buchi.
For the past few months here, we have been training both in Tobago and Trinidad to prepare for this national game here, America's game here. And I know he was going to be successful because he's a very talented Buchi player, always devoted to coming to practice, never complain. And I'm proud of him. We are all proud of you. And to all the people who give us support during this time, I want to say thank you.
Isaiah's achievement is also a source of pleasure for Assistant Secretary in the Division of Education, Research and Technology, Orlando Kerr. The Assistant Secretary says despite its small size, Tobago is filled with enormous talent. He says it's important to recognize Isaiah for his accomplishments.
Today is indeed a very special day. And as Tobagonians, you know, we have to celebrate this in the context that when you look at the island of Tobago, which is about 60,000 persons, and when you look at our athletes going out there and competing internationally with some of those huge countries that we are just simply a dot, it tells you about the kind of talent that we have here and the kind of commitment that we have and the kind of coaches that we have. So I want you all to put your hand together again for Isaiah.
The ceremony was held at the International Departure Lounge at the ANI International Airport. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
It was an evening of laughter and reflection at the Guild House for Tobago Drama Guild's Blood Money production. If you missed it, we'll give you a sneak peek right after this break when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. The private pool is where guests spend their evenings and late nights. But if you want to explore Tobago, Bishop's Villa is centrally located. It's just 5 minutes from the capital, Scarborough, and 10 minutes of the bustling Southwest and the A&R Robinson International Airport in Crown Point, which means it's a great option for family vacations. The Tobago Drama Guild is making the best of the relaxation of COVID health restrictions. The Guild took to the stage recently for its latest theatre presentation, Blood Money. Ryan McCool tells us more in our next story.
It ain't have no sympathy here. We pay to kill. Randy, kill my dreams.
You really don't know me.
It's a Caribbean story written by playwright Cheryl Birchwood Wheeler Tabiti, which challenges the duplicity of differing social classes. A tale of one young man who falls into the trap of immoral acts in hopes of attaining a better quality of life.
You know, you get into the whole bit of justifying when you're doing the wrong things to get what you want. So he was into stealing, he was a bandit. But then he found a way to justify it. He was blaming the 1%. Okay, they have all the privileges. What about us, the black people who get in trouble for just 5 ganja plants and all of that? But they are the ones controlling it.
The play was presented at the Guild House in Lowlands. It enjoyed a packed audience which has been yearning for the re-emergence of Tobago theatre.
We were able for this play to fill the hall 4 nights in a row, and that was amazing. As well as we got a shot in the arm from Bitter Cassava that came before. So Bitter Cassava sort of opened the appetite for more.
The Blood Money screenplay has also been receiving rave reviews to the delight of the Tobago Drama Guild as well as patrons.
It's the second time I've seen it. It improved on the second rendition. Performances were fantastic. Young and old performers, experienced performers, newer performers, all performed well. The story was very involved.
I thought the show was
quite remarkable. I wasn't sure what to expect. It exceeded my expectations.
It was beautiful, and you know what I love most? The young people. My God, you all have done well with them. The show, the storyline, everything, very good.
I love this show, but I wanted to join in this show, and I love it, and I really wanted to join in, and I really like this show, and I would love to see it 100 more times.
The Blood Money play will return to the Gill House after a 2-week break. The 3-day encore presentation is specially for schools, but you'll also get another chance to see the play during these viewings once space permits. From there, the Tobago Drama Guild will take the play overseas to the Canadian Consul General's office in Toronto. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
Bees have an important role that goes way beyond honey production. These little insects are so much more than the threat of a sting that they are recognized across the globe, including Tobago, as you'll see in our final story. Have a look.
Bees have created enough buzz to get their own day on the world's calendar. World Bees Day is celebrated annually on May 20th. But if you're wondering why these little insects have a day, here's the reason. World Bees Day highlights the essential role of bees and other pollinators play in keeping the world healthy. It's an opportunity for governments, organizations, civil society, and concerned citizens everywhere to promote actions that will protect pollinators and help them thrive.
We join with the rest of the world in celebrating World Bee Day because these tiny insects are one of the main insects that gives back to us as humans, namely a various variety of products: honey, bee pollen, propolis, royal jelly, and various types of therapy. Also pollination, which you all know. Some people may say between 60 to 90% of our food are contributed by bee pollination, be it stainless bees or honeybees.
Honeybees produce honey, which is loved worldwide for its sweetness and depth of flavor. It is commonly used in many foods and recipes. Honey is also very popular in a range of other products.
I partner with the beekeepers, with Tobago Apiculture Society and other beekeepers to present to you this lovely display, and other stakeholders who do value-added products like soaps, creams, body butters, candles.
The island's beekeeping industry is growing, and it's not an easy job, but there are many benefits associated with beekeeping, which is why Davlon Brathwaite continues rearing his bees. He even shares his knowledge about the health benefits of honey.
We produce mainly honey and supply supermarkets on the island. Management of the hives, making sure they are well maintained in terms of the queen satisfied, have a good quality queen, splitting of hives. That's a process whereby we expand, so you can start off from one and end up to as much as you want. Honey is a natural alternative. Bees are beneficial for pollination. Most of the fruits and vegetables that we enjoy, bees have something to do with it. Also, it is said that these things are beneficial for persons who may have arthritis.
The theme of this year's World Bee Day events was Be Engaged, celebrating the diversity of bees and beekeeping systems. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on Bishop's Villa, you can contact the manager at 416-450-2484 via WhatsApp, or email them at bishopsvilla@gmail.com. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week. We leave you with a montage of Bishop's Villa. Do enjoy.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning Tobago, and welcome this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We're coming to you live from the 3rd floor, Portmore, Lower Scarborough, Tobago. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the show. I am Rhea Richardson George, and you know, it's going to be a beautiful day. So good morning to those of you viewing us here in Tobago, in Trinidad, in the Caribbean, and those of you on the live. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. It's slightly overcast, just about 7:02 a.m. and we trust that you're moving and shaking and getting ready for work. Please don't be late. Whatever you do, don't be late. All right, so beautiful Thursday morning, and we're really happy to be in your company. Julian is still out, but hopefully by Monday, Julian Skeet, hopefully by Monday, he should be back on with us. So viewers, lots of great things happening on the program. We're going to get into our news in 90 seconds in just a little bit, but a lot of great things coming up on the program today. So it's Budget Day in Tobago today. Finally, so after all these pre-budgetary consultations with Chief Secretary and Finance, Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy, Fali Chavez Augustine, we are here. It is his first budget in the Assembly Legislature. So we are certainly looking forward to that. And what surprises he may have up his sleeve, we are certainly tuned in and expectant. Now, we've seen clearly that from this administration, they do not do things the traditional way. So I know that Tobago is pegged. We're looking on because we expect some really interesting layouts with regards to the THA budget. So let's get into some news in 90 seconds. Let's tell you what's been happening around Tobago and Trinidad. TADCO to produce dasheen and cassava flour. Amidst the rising cost of wheat flour, TADCO will soon be supplying alternative flour to Tobago. At yesterday's post-executive media briefing, Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Natisha Charles Pantin, announced that TADCO has an agreement with Novo Farms to produce flour from dasheen and cassava. Processing will take place at the Shore Park Packing House. Special equipment is also on the way to facilitate the processing of alternative flour. Meanwhile, efforts are on the way to supply poultry farmers with free chicks and feed to reduce the food cost in Tobago. Resumption of gas rebate. Fishermen can now enjoy gas rebates again. According to the Assistant Secretary of Food Production, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Nigel Tate, gas rebates are available for fishermen. It allows fishermen to receive 12 cents per litre of gasoline, 10 cents per litre of diesel, and 75 cents per litre of oil. To qualify for rebates, fishermen and their vessels must be registered and be able to present the necessary documentation, including receipts. Rebates can be claimed at the Fisheries Department at the Milsherv building. And finally, in our news this morning, Attorney General Reginald Amor refused to answer questions from the media relating to his dismissal by a Miami court for representing this country in the Piarco International Airport corruption matter. Amor represented former Finance Minister Brian Quaitong in a similar matter years ago, but failed to declare the extent of his involvement in the case. The AG hosted a press conference yesterday to address the implementation of procurement legislation. When members of the media questioned him on the Miami court matter, Amor refused to answer, stating he does not want to create another Section 34 situation that will further delay the trial. And that's just about it for our news in 90 seconds. Some of what's happening throughout Tobago and Trinidad. So viewers, as we mentioned earlier, it is budget day today, and like we said, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is going to be presenting in the House for the very first time under this new PDP administration. So we're certainly looking forward to some exciting, in fact an exciting presentation, might I add. We've seen from the track record of the PDP thus far over the last 6 months or so that they do not do things the traditional way, and so we are pegged and we're really excited to see what they're going to be unrolling, what the chief is going to be unrolling in the assembly later on today. I think just around 10 o'clock this morning. So let's tell you what's coming up on the program. And we want to invite those viewers this morning. Maybe you're on the live, maybe you have an idea of where the concentration should be. We'd love to get your thoughts on that as well. So you can put it on the live and we're going to share it. Because this morning, kicking us off, we will be chatting with Anselm Richards, economist and political analyst. And this morning, again, the focus is on budget day. What can we expect? So if you've got some expectations, maybe you've got some thoughts on where the focus should be, please share it with us. We'd like to share it on the live. Coming up just after that, we will be chatting with members of the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and they'll share with us some of their services that they've got in Tobago. I'm not sure if you've seen social media recently, but they have started rolling out some services as of the 22nd of June, which was yesterday, and over the next few days. So if you need to get your pap smears done, etc., that's the place to go, and their prices are affordable. Okay, so they're going to be chatting with us on their services, so you don't want to miss that. And then closing us up this morning, we will be chatting with Shade Titus and Melanie Morton as we focus on the student fundraising event. They both represent Rule Number 1 Foundation, and they're going to be chatting with us on their student fundraising event. So lots of interesting things coming up on the program this morning, and you don't want to miss that. All right, now we also see here that there is an increase in flour prices. Yes, and it seems to have happened overnight. So the NFM announced it one day, 33% increase, and by the next day, boom, prices were gone up. So from $14.77 to $18.93. I'm telling you here. So we're looking at an increase in bread, in flour, pastries, we're talking doubles, we're talking roti, anything flour related. So of course, prices have already hiked, and one roti shop has already indicated, well, I'm not increasing the prices this week, but as of next week, consumers, patrons are going to definitely see that increase in our prices. So you've got to decide, do we stick with it or do we go to the alternative? Because now we're talking more and more about the alternative flour, which would be the yam, plantain, dasheen, cassava, all of these are the means of flour. All right, and is it that we need to eat the flour? Maybe we need to look at curbing our diet, changing the way that we eat, so that we do not consume as much flour per se, and eating a little bit healthier. All right, so maybe these are things and conversations that we need to continue to have. I want to send a very special shout out this morning to a young man, Govinda Ramlogan. Govinda, where I worked before, Govinda has never ever turned us down whenever we've needed him to perform for any type of Hindu or Diwali type celebrations. He's a dancer. He dances very often with Sita Bipat, and Govinda just completed his studies, and he has not graduated, but he has certainly come out with some distinctions, with regards his area of study. And I want to say, Govinda, congratulations to you. Hard work does pay off. And I wanted to send a shout out to you this morning and trust that you're having a really great day. And, the sky is the limit for you. So great things are in store for your future. And just know that Tobago is really proud of you, Govinda Ramlogan. All right, so viewers, lots more coming up on the program this morning. Remember, you can catch us on Street 919, you can catch us on Gael, and you can catch us on Smash Radio, M&E TV, on social media, Facebook, YouTube. So lots of great and exciting things coming up on the program. So viewers, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
I just want a microphone. Morning. I just want a microphone. Morning. Take the mask off your face.
Our security services company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Pre-qualification notice deadline 30th June 2022. The Tobago Regional Health Authority (TRHA) is updating its current list of pre-qualified contractors, suppliers, consultancy firms and sole traders to ensure compliance with the mandate of the procurement regulations of Trinidad and Tobago. All interested contractors and suppliers desirous of entering into business arrangements with the TRHA are invited to engage in the pre-qualification of suppliers registration process. For more information, visit the following link: trha.page.link/tenders. Looking for plants for your garden or even a thoughtful gift for a friend? We at Eden Nurseries are waiting to welcome you with our affordable prices and variety of indoor and outdoor plants, flowers, palms, soil blends, pots, landscaping services, maintenance, irrigation services, and water features. Visit our garden shop and nursery Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. located at the back of Orange Hill Gas Station, Shore Park, Tobago. Or call us 639-0776 and let us help you bring your garden to life.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We want to say good morning to some of you viewing us on the live this morning. Denise Hosford, good morning to you. Lana Drysdale, I know that name. Lana, good morning to you. Dora Lyons, Auntie Dora, good morning. Donette Dempster and Denicia Dempster, good morning. Denicia, wherever you are, we trust that you're having a really great day. Julia Brown, good morning. Always viewing Tobago Updates, and we really appreciate all of you locked on the live this morning. All right, just to let you know, viewers, that remember it is budget day today in Tobago. So just to let you know, from the Tobago updates perspective, we've got a pre-show, we've got the post-show, and we've got the live budget presentation that will be taking place right here on Tobago Updates. And you can check us out later this evening for a special edition of a 4D hour, and it's all budget. All right, so you do not want to miss it. So stay locked on to the Tobago Updates show. So coming up on the program at this time, we're chatting with Anselm Richards. Anselm Richards is an economist and political analyst. And this morning we're talking about budget day. What can we expect? Anselm Richards, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rhea. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, world, wherever you are. Thanks for having me, Rhea.
Always a pleasure to be able to chat with you. Now, Anselm Richards, it's budget day here in Tobago. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, and he's also the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, is going to be presenting in the Assembly for the very first time. You know, of course, persons are waiting to hear, well, what's new? What's happening? From what he has said, he did indicate earlier at an earlier interview that we can expect some novel ideas, some groundbreaking ideas, a very progressive agenda. All right, so let's get your thoughts on what Tobagonians can expect.
Well, given where I'm sitting now in terms of the budget process, some of those things are really the burden of the Chief Secretary. But definitely, as he indicated, the budget is a departure from what we have become accustomed to over the last 21 years. It's a scientifically prepared document in terms of our revenue requests. It is not something that we just pull from a hat, but it's a request that is based on scientific work, based on what we forecast the national budget is likely to be, and we apply the DRC recommendation to that, and we make our request, and we build our budget expenditure around that request. In other things that we pay attention to what is happening in the global environment, the regional environment, the domestic environment, and home in Tobago, and we prepared policy and projects to respond to those developments. We know that climate change remains a very significant threat to all of us, and therefore that's why the Chief Secretary can alert the population that the budget is going to be a very green budget.
Yes.
A green budget. There's a heavy narrative on the environment and our positioning in terms of our responsibility to go net zero, and the things that we can do given our natural environment, and how we can use those natural processes to deal with our carbon emission issues. So there is a very rich conversation on that, and it also ties into our issue with coastal erosion and the sargassum seaweed and the whole issue of the blue economy, you know, the orange economy, and all those things are nested in that conversation. So it's a very interesting narrative, you know, very progressive, you know, very scientific in the way it was put together. So it's a lot, and it's going to be a very dynamic presentation. You know, Mr. Chavez, Augustine is not the ordinary orator. So I alert people to tune in to what is in store for them today.
Okay, I can see a look of excitement on your face already.
Well,
now,
you know, it has been a long process. So when you come to this point and you anticipate some good sleep ahead, then you can smile.
well, I think on all fronts, because the chief did indicate a few days ago that because of the pre-budgetary consultations, he was unable to get any rest because they had been going almost every night. And I want to talk about the pre-budget consultations that happened over the course of the last 2 weeks or so leading up to today's budget presentation. What sort of difference do you think the information that would have been garnered would make in the presentation of today's budget? I mean, several areas, if not all of the areas, were covered by the chief and stakeholders. What sort of impact do you think the findings would have on the presentation today?
Well, definitely, if you understand who the Chief Secretary is, that information was used to really favor the conversation, you know, and some serious policy adjustment was made to include those recommendations. So the budget is not, you know, built only from the experience and of the public servants and the technical team. but there was a significant influential impact from the consultation. And remember too, we had an online platform that was up for over a month, where a number of people were able to submit their recommendation. That was very powerful recommendation that were considered, and that was a very good, broad-based, open process for the building up of this document, this narrative, and the policies and program that comes with it.
All right, and I'm really happy that you did mention that. Now, we see here where there was no budget last year because of all that was happening within the Tobago House of Assembly between the PNM, that the 6-6 between the People's National Movement and the PDP. So let's go back the year before, which would be 2020. Yes?
There was not a formal budget.
A formal budget per se, right.
But there were draft estimates of expenditure revenue that was submitted to the government.
Right,
so
while
the people of Tobago did not get a budget presentation, the then administration did their draft estimate and send it to Trinidad without the approval of the people of Tobago in the House.
Definitely, and that was another issue. That was another issue that I do not think was discussed because of everything else that was overshadowing at the point in time. Now, one of the last presentations would have been Tobago requesting a $4.7 billion, receiving a 2.357. In terms of what, and I know you're not at liberty at this point to divulge too much information because the chief is going to be doing that, the Secretary for Finance, Trade and Economy is going to be doing that a little bit later on. But let's talk about what where the emphasis should lie, where based on the pre-budgetary consultations that were held, let's talk a little bit about where the emphasis should lie for this year's budget presentation.
Well, definitely, if you understand the construct of the Tobago economy and what has been happening over the years, the Tobago economy is really powered by government expenditure, and that's it. So it's best described as a service-led, tourism-driven government powered, meaning that the power of the economy resides in the spending of the THA, and all of us know that. The THA employs 54% of the persons. It contributes 48% to our GDP for 2021. So what that means is that the focus has to be with prudent financial and fiscal management of the resources and very laser focused expenditure in certain areas to get the wheel of economic development moving in a particular direction. It also means that we have to deal with the issue of productivity within the government services, because that's the largest sector and the largest employer.
Right.
It has to do also with the way we configure the expenditure equation, whether we continue to spend a significant more on recurrent expenditure and how we make the transition to growing the capital development expenditure program of the island so that we can build out in a significant way the productive economic infrastructure that will give us growth and transformation. So those are the kinds of management and balancing that one has to do given where we are and where we want to go.
All right. Now, we heard from Diane Haddad, who is the president of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and she said that she's hoping that the THA will unveil a plan to invigorate the island in its budget presentation today. We also look at the discussion of being in the midst of economic recovery, the emphasis on how do we get Tobago revived, how do we get this economy that was dormant for about 2 years or so, and there's some who would argue that it was dormant before that, but I'm not going to get into that. But in terms of reviving Tobago, let's talk a little bit about some of the initiatives that you'd like to see put in place.
Well, then the issue with the Tobago economy has to do with what you can call commercial traffic. What needs to happen is that we need to bring people to the island. We need to bring people both in terms of our domestic tourism, both in terms of our regional tourism efforts and our international tourism efforts. The fact that Tobago population is only 60 to 70,000 people on any good day, that really can't provide the effective demand to drive the Tobago economy, as it were. And therefore, the strategy has to be, how do you bring people to the island? How do you bring that commercial traffic to increase the effective demand on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that can drive economic activity and commerce on the island? That's where it's a service-led, tourism-driven government power. So you have to bring people to buy and consume the services that are being offered by the different entities on the island in the commercial business sector in Tobago. That's really the fundamental challenge that we face in terms of how we get the island economy revived and start upticking, as it will. And as we do that, there's a need for us to start the diversification agenda, to start building out more productive and export-oriented businesses so that we can start earning foreign exchange and all of that.
All right. I want to talk about the effects of Ukraine, what's happening in the Ukraine, and the effects here on the Tobago economy. There's some who would say, but that is so far away, that has nothing to do with us. Let's talk about the effects of it on our economy.
Well, if you understand Ukraine and Ukraine's position in terms of wheat production, you will understand that the increase in the price of flour is a direct link to what is happening in Ukraine. So it may be millions of miles away, but remember, we're living in a world that is very integrated, or a world of intersectionality. What happens wherever in the world affects us here. The COVID-19 pandemic was started in China, and it had the world wrapped around that pandemic for 2 years. So to think that because the war is right down that end of the world, it doesn't affect you here, is really living in a fool's paradise.
Definitely, definitely. And we hear you loud and clear this morning there, Mr. Richards. And we're getting ready to wrap up here with you, but what would you say to the people of Tobago? I mean, we're expectant, we are hopeful. What would you say to the viewers this morning?
I would just advise Tobagonians to get themselves ready, take an early shower, prepare some snacks or some refreshment, get your TV tuned in early, position yourself to take in this most exciting and dynamic presentation that is intended to really transform the way we go forward with the development of Tobago, and see what is in it for you, see the call to order, get yourself and your resources and your assets in place and join this project in transforming and developing this greatest little island on the planet.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning to chat with us, Anselm Richards, economist and political analyst. So viewers, we've got lots of exciting things happening today. So you've got to stay tuned because you want all of the information. And remember, it's happening from 10 o'clock this morning. But Candace is going to give us some more information because she's on the outside and she's going to share with us where she is and what's happening out there. Candace, good morning. Okay. All right, so Candice is going to check in with us just a little bit later on. But we've got some good stuff to share with you this morning, viewers. So 3 Tobago students awarded scholarships. Kezia Kamabach of Roxborough Secondary School and Jaleel Baines of Montgomery Primary School and Jenna Dick, who attends the Signal Hill Secondary School, each received a scholarship from the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Fan Kuai, at a short award ceremony which was held yesterday, Wednesday, 22nd June 2022 at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex in Scarborough. So we want to send congratulations this morning to our 3 Tobago students. Congratulations going out to you, and we trust that you are going to utilize this well. All right, remember Tobago is backing you 100%. So that's just about it for good stuff, viewers. Lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates morning show. We've got members of the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago joining us just after. So viewers, share the live, share the live, share the live.
Taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy combination special. Come along, enjoy your treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning, morning Tobago, Trinidad and the region. Of course, I am Candice Jackson and you are watching the Tobago Updates morning show. And I am here inside the Assembly Legislature. Right behind me is the horseshoe where all the assemblymen are going to be sitting in this inaugural budget day for the PDP-led administration. Of course, Chief Secretary and Secretary of Finance, Trade and Economy will be delivering his maiden budget statement since being elected in December last year. So of course we have a lot to look forward to today. I mean, as you can also see behind me, you know, the cleaners and the maintenance staff, they're making sure that everything is set and prepared for the assembly sitting this morning, which is going to start at 10 a.m. Also, if you've been watching the sittings recently, you'd have noticed that something's a little missing, and that's the glass partitions. They're no longer there. They seem to have removed it. Of course, that was a measure that was put in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, I know Chief Secretary Fali Augustine he wasn't always so comfortable with it, and there were some issues in terms of sound and whatnot, and the assemblymen being able to hear each other properly when they were in the partitions. But that's been removed, and now we can actually be able to see their faces. Of course, everybody would be masked in here because, you know, COVID-19 is still a thing. But yeah, we are looking forward to a very exciting sitting. We know that, you know, over the past few years, you know, budgets have been around $4.8 billion that were presented here, but we've never gotten that because when October rolls around and the national budget is read, Tobago is usually allocated just about $2.3 billion, basically half of whatever is presented. But of course, as you heard from Mr. Anselm Richards this morning, earlier in the show, there's going to be a presentation that's going to be more in line with what Tobago is expected to get in October. So hopefully the plans that are going to be presented today would be plans that would be able to be executed when the national budget comes around, so that, you know, we don't have to reevaluate the whole entire thing, because that's what's happened in the past when we would have this presentation, which is essentially a wish list, and then when October rolls around, there is not much. I mean, they have to rework the whole entire budget, and often we don't get the same level of debate or deliberation over the plans that are presented. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens here this morning. And as you heard earlier from Mr. Anselm Richards, we are going to have a presentation that's based on green policies and, you know, preserving the environment, dealing with mitigating climate change and that sort of thing, which is monumental and a bit progressive, I should say, you know, in terms of how we've been doing things in this country. But we have definitely have a lot to look forward for. We are expecting a packed house. We're expecting a little bit of excitement, a little bit of a change in pace. Normally budget statements can be quite boring. However, because Mr. Augustine is a bit of a dynamic speaker, I mean, we can expect a little more oomph, I should say, a little bit more excitement this time around. So hopefully we don't have that whole monotone speech. The budget presentation is supposed to last just about 2 hours. It's going to be a bit of a long one, not quite as long as what we've had in the past. But, I mean, again, we're looking forward to see what comes out of it. So, yeah, that's basically it. Just like I said, there's not much happening here. Only the cleaners and just the security staff and just the workers are in here right now, making sure that everything is prepared and ready so that the budget day for Tobago goes off without a hitch. So it's back to you in Studio Ria.
All right, Candace, thank you so much. And I think some may say that this is just the calm before the storm.
Of course, just the calm before the storm. And and we know that after the budget presentation, we will have to have a debate. So we're not entirely sure what days the debate would take place, but we would be hearing at the end of the presentation, they would let the House know what date the debates will be scheduled. Everything has to be completed by the end of June as per the Constitution, and then submitted down to Trinidad for consideration for the national budget in October.
You know, Candice, I think in an earlier interview a few days ago, the chief did mention that the days for the budget debate would be the 28th and 29th of June. So that would be some later on next week. All right, so we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
Certainly, in fact, we're looking forward to the next, in fact, today and as well for the budget debate. As you mentioned, yes, it is a wish list, but I think we are hopeful, and I think Tobago is pretty excited about today.
Yes, of course. I mean, this is a big day, especially for Chief Secretary Fali Augustine. It is his first budget presentation since being elected into office, and you know, the PDP came into office with the promise of a lot of hope and change in the way that they do things. So we're looking forward to see what that hope and change would look like. Also, a part of it would be the presentation of a comprehensive development plan, because we have not had a development plan laid out for a while. The last one, that was CEDP 2.0, that expired in 2017. So we are looking forward to a presentation of a new plan and to see the vision that the PDP wants to take Tobago.
All right, thank you so much. Well, we're going to be checking in a little bit later on, and Candice is going to be bringing us some coverage later on in the morning as we lead up to the budget presentation. All right, so viewers, we switch gears a little bit here as we focus on the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago and their services being offered here in Tobago. And to chat with us this morning, we've got Anjali Cho Talal. I got it right, Anjali? Yes, you did. Anjali Chotalal and Jada Thomas. So Anjali is the clinic coordinator of the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and Jada is the youth officer. Both ladies, good morning and welcome to you.
Thank you so much. So nice of you to have us.
It is a
pleasure. Good morning, Tobago. I am so happy to be back in Tobago because, you know, this COVID pandemic really put a damper on everything.
Yeah,
everything was shut down. We were set apart, and, you know, I am so happy that Trinidad and Tobago is coming out of it, and we're getting there together with the world.
All right.
So we are here in Tobago to meet our people, to see our clients again, and to have new persons. So we're here. We were here from yesterday. We're here today, and we're here tomorrow.
All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what's been happening with the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Even during maybe the last few years, there was a time when I know that you guys were more visible, and then we didn't see nor hear anything about the Family Planning Association. And now, I was so surprised yesterday to see over social media these flyers being circulated, and I said, yes, they're back.
Yes, I know, we're back. So there's a lot that's been happening because we're looking now at changing the way we do things, reaching out to more persons. So it's a whole restructuring and a whole new plan of strategizing. How do we want to provide the services that we want to provide? So it's been a culmination of these strategies and looking how best we can meet those needs. Again, with the pandemic, that put a big damper on all our hopes and dreams and the things that we wanted to do for Tobago. So we're back on, and COVID is getting out of our way now, and we're back on, and Tobago is going to see us more often, more frequent. We are here for you guys, and we want to continue to provide the services and even extend the kind of services that we do. Because a lot of persons, they think family planning, that's about having children or not having children.
Or planning.
Yeah, or planning your family.
You know, when you want to have a family.
Exactly. But we are so much more.
Definitely.
We provide general health as well. We do the prostate screening, the contraceptive services, as you said, the pap smear screening, the cervical cancer screening, which is through the pap smears, manual breast exams. So there's so much more that we do. And as you said, we are expanding. And one of the things that we've added to our services is a diagnostic clinic. So we're doing ultrasounds now. Yeah, so we have our very own ultrasound clinic in Trinidad. So, and one of the things that we're looking at is bringing that service to Tobago.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I said we're going to be doing a whole lot more. We want to be a lot more visible. We're looking at, we know we have our clinic in Bacolette, and that's sponsored by the THA, and there's a little bit of repairs to be done, so that's going to come back on stream.
Right.
But we want to also reach out to the far reaches of Tobago. So not just have that statically, but to actually go out and meet the Tobagonians in their spaces. So, you know, because a lot of us, we don't have time, getting to places is difficult, so we want to be able to go to persons. And that is our big plan for us, for Tobago, to reach out, to move out, to really go, you know, and do things. We had an activity, I think it was about a month ago. Jada, you want to tell us a little bit about that activity with the HF and HIV testing?
Right, yeah. So at our youth clinic, it's called the Living Room, back in Trinidad, we had Free Up Fridays. It was an
Free Up Fridays?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was an initiative sponsored by the HF, which allowed us to provide free HIV testing to anyone that came through. We also did like entertainment, SRH, knowledge sessions, just like informing people of what we do at the clinic and how they can protect themselves and their health.
Now, I like the fact that there is a youth, you know, coordinator, youth representative. I don't think I've ever seen this before with regards to family planning, because it's always been the older, more matured persons, in, you know, telling us about contraceptives and basically contraceptives, you know, and probably one or two screenings here and there. But the fact that there is a youth voice, Jade, I want you to tell our viewers this morning, particularly our young persons, about the importance of what you do and what the Family Planning Association is all about.
Okay, yeah. So the Family Planning Association focuses on sexual and reproductive health. So we provide services around pap smears, which does the cervical cancer screening, as was stated earlier. Yeah, and the contraceptives. So this is important for young people because when it comes to stuff such as STDs and cervical cancer, persons don't care until it's too late.
Right.
And by the time it's too late, it's much harder to deal with. If you get tested regularly after every partner, if you get your cancer screenings, I believe every year, every 3 years, depending on your age, you get in front of the problem, if there even is a problem, and you get to take charge of how you want to handle that, and you get to deal with it on your terms.
And the thing is, whether we want to accept it or not, younger people are having sex.
Yeah.
And we don't want to talk about it because if we don't talk about it in our minds, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
But it's out there. It's happening.
It's happening. That's correct. And that's why it's so important to focus on the youth, because they are our future. So it's women of all ages that need to take charge of their health. So this is why we have that special focus on youth, because they are our future. And as well, those like in my age group.
Probably my age group.
Yeah.
Come on, we're not ashamed of it, you know.
Own it, man. Be proud. So yeah, so we have to be responsible for our health.
Yes.
And we have to advocate for the others and get others to understand that their health is important, no matter what age you are.
That's right.
You need to take charge, because our health is our greatest wealth, not flour.
Woo! She got skills, she got jokes. Now, I want you to tell us very quickly here about the services, because you spoke earlier about the services that you all are offering. But tell us specifically about some of the services, and it's just 3 days that you're here.
Yes,
so that was
correct.
yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yes.
So Tobagoans have to come out from Charlottesville to Crown Point, and I don't want to break into song here. So from Charlottesville to Crown Point, you need to come out and be a part of it and remind us of where it's happening. Tell us about the services and where it's happening.
Great. So it's at the Highmore Center, that's Scarborough, Plymouth, and it's opposite Cost Cutters,
right,
as well as the Division for Health and Wellness and Social Protection. So it's very easy to find. The services that we're providing, we have the female health package, and this is an excellent package designed just for females. It's $200. We do the pap smear, we do the manual breast exam, we check your blood pressure, we check your urine, we check your blood glucose, we check your weight, and we have a very nice healthy discussion about your health and your future and how to manage all of that. We are doing STI testing for HIV, syphilis, and chlamydia. And we're also doing contraceptive advice. So if you want to start a contraceptive method, we are there. Right? So this is important. We, in the future, we're going to add more things because we have doctors as well with us. But of course, it involves having them to come across. But this is something that we're going to expand. So like you said, we're going to be here very often in Tobago. You're going to get fed up of seeing us.
Angela, you're looking for opportunities to be back in Tobago.
Yes, definitely. And we have been liaising with the THA as well, because they have been so supportive of us, very supportive. And I want to thank them. Yeah, they've been very supportive.
And I'm happy to hear. But one of the questions coming in here is, how long would the results take to come back? So when persons come in to have these tests done, whether it's cervical cancer, as we say, cervical cancer screening, the breast examination, breast examination, how long would it take for results to come in? Maybe you feel something right away with the breast health, but with regards to the cervical cancer screening, how long would it take for the results to come in?
All right, so I'll tell you about all of them. So with the manual breast exam, yes, if we do feel something, we advise the client, okay, this is what we're feeling, we will refer. Sometimes you need to have an ultrasound of the breast done or a mammogram. So depending on the age and different factors, we'd refer for that. Like I mentioned, we have our diagnostic clinic in Trinidad, so clients in Trinidad are able to get that service. And the good thing is that the equipment is portable, so we can even bring it across to Tobago. With regards to the pap smear sample has to go through a process. So it's a lab process. So it has to be screened, it has to be stained, it has to be processed. So you get the results within 2 weeks' time. So, and one of the most common questions is, how am I going to get my result? So we have what we do as soon as it's ready, we call the client, and there's the option to send it via WhatsApp, or we can email. So it's very easy access, right? So that's for the pap smear. For the STI testing, which includes HIV, syphilis, and the chlamydia, it's half an hour.
Within half an hour, you
half an hour, less even, you get your results. So when you come and you do your test, you know if you're good or not.
And that's very important.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of other diseases, situations have sort of overshadowed HIV, and a lot of persons believe now that it doesn't exist. We don't talk about it that much anymore. It doesn't exist, but it's still out there.
It's still out there. It's very much still out there. I think I had a beautiful conversation with Mr. Craig yesterday from the assembly, and he was saying COVID just put everything on a back burner, but everything is still there. And we still need to have those conversations, and those deep and critical conversations about these things. Your health. What are you doing to take charge of your health? What are you doing to protect yourself from getting STIs? What are you doing to protect you and your loved ones from being a cancer victim? So these are the conversations we need to restart. And as we said, from the young ages. Hence our youth officer, our youth group.
That's right. Tell us the time.
So we're there from 8:30 until. So no, the mall has a closing time. So we're going till 5 p.m. I mean, if someone comes in, we're not going to say no.
Right.
But of course, we have the mall time. I think they close at 6 or 7. So persons, please come down, get your health checked. It's just one step in the many things that you can do. And having a yearly health screening is so important for you and for your loved ones.
All right. Now, I'm going to push the women's health package here. I'm pushing that one because I believe in early detection being the best protection. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. And I'm telling you, ladies, you know it. I will always push it. Early detection, always the best protection. When they find it early, they know how to operate. All right. So that the women's health package going at $200 includes pap smear, manual breast exam, blood pressure, weight check, urine analysis, and blood glucose sugar. So you can't get better than that. I mean, all for the beautiful price of $200.
No, you can't get better than that.
It's an investment in your health.
Exactly.
Okay, we spend the money on the wigs, the weaves, the shoes, the nails, the makeup. Come on, let's spend it where it matters. All right? Thank you so much for being on the program with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
I see Jada smiling here. Jada, it was a breeze, wasn't it? Ladies, thank you for chatting with us this morning. Viewers, lots more coming up on the program. When we come back, we're going to be chatting with Shadi Titus and Melanie Morton as we focus on the students fundraising event that's coming up soon. Remember, viewers, share the live, share the live, share the live.
I don't want to break no bones. I just want a microphone.
Hello, Crime Stoppers.
This is Crime Stoppers. Please share only your crime information.
I want to report a crime, but I need to make sure it will not be traced back to me.
Caller, I assure you, there's no record of this call other than the information you give us and the tip number I assign you for you to call back and check on your reward. This system has worked in 26 countries for more than 40 years.
Help stop crime. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS today. Calls are safe and 100% anonymous.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Pre-qualification notice. Deadline 30th June 2022. The Tobago Regional Health Authority (TRHA) is updating its current list of pre-qualified contractors, suppliers, consultancy firms and sole traders to ensure compliance with the mandate of the procurement regulations of Trinidad and Tobago. All interested contractors and suppliers desirous of entering into business arrangements with the TRHA are invited to engage in the pre-qualification of suppliers registration process. For more information, visit the following link: trha.page.link/tenders. Looking for plants for your garden or even a thoughtful gift for a friend? We at Eden Nurseries are waiting to welcome you with our affordable prices and variety of indoor and outdoor plants, flowers, palms, soil blends, pots, landscaping services, maintenance, irrigation services, and water features. Visit our garden shop and nursery Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. located at the back of Orange Hill Gas Station, Shore Park, Tobago. Or call us 639-0776 and let us help you bring your garden to life.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Never a dull moment on this set. Just before we get into our Tobago back in the day photo, hold up, don't put it up yet. Just to give you some quick information. So the contact number for the Family Planning Association, 2923411. You can call or WhatsApp that number, and you can call directly the office at 623-5169. All right, so those are the contact numbers, 2923411. Call or WhatsApp, or 623-5169. All right, so let's go over to Tobago back in the day. Or Tobago back in the day photo. Now, if you remember Tobago like this, you're going to be tipping your age. Definitely tipping your age. And some of you are wondering where this is. Let me see. Can you remember? Do you remember where was this photo taken? Where is this? Where is this in Tobago? I see my guests on set leaning their heads wondering, and is it that you are so young? I think they are so young that they do not they do not remember Tobago. I see Linda and Lashley saying, nah, I still young. Yes, Linda. Okay, Listra Belfont says, Burnett Hill. Yes, it is Burnett Hill. Definitely Burnett Hill. All right, Charla Ramsey Roberts. Yes, Charla, Burnett Hill. And we would remember that, Charla. Okay, and in those days, you had to walk in the road or on the side of the road because there was no pavement, no sidewalk, no walkway. But the new generation, I mean, they have nice things now, you know. All right, thank you so much. Yes, Layla Louie, Burnett Hill. Definitely Linda and Lashley, but it isn't that. Yeah, but isn't that up the hill? Yes, it's Burnett Hill, definitely. All right, so we're switching gears again, viewers. We are chatting this morning with Shade Titus and Melanie Morton, and they both represent Rule Number 1 Foundation. They're both members of the Rule Number 1. All right, but before we continue our discussion with them, we're going to head over into Tobago Notes, and then we're going to continue chatting with these ladies. Nope. How about you now telling me that and continue talking?
Shanice Charles and Shanae Winchester are co-founders of the company Dear Diet Enterprises. They've got a passion for adding value to local produce like dasheen and cassava. Over the years, they've manufactured products like seriously grounded dasheen cereal and cassava flour. In an effort to grow their business, Shanice attended the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO's first official consultation with farmers and agro-processors. Ms. Charles and other participants learned about issues such as farmland development and agricultural incentives. She also got to know about TADCO's criteria for partnering with farmers and agro-processors. Shanice was especially excited about one of TADCO's future projects, a market for agro-processors to showcase and sell their products.
Today was really informative, especially the agro-processor incentive that they are intending to start or in the process of starting. That stood out majority for us because we are agro-processors, and we, of course, will always look for incentive that could help the business. I think the consultation that TADCO put on today between the farmers and agro-processors was very important because it helps form a form of community between the farmers, the agro-processors, distributors. It helps create a cycle and a circle amongst us. Yeah.
Just over 90 stakeholders in the agribusiness sector attended the consultation. Small livestock farmer Rudolph Hippolyte shares what stood out for him during the presentations.
I think taking it and carrying it to the secondary stage where the life of the product would be lengthened, I think that is a very interesting development. And I like how they talk about identifying some products like the dasheen, the cassava, and breadfruit in particular.
The consultation was a joint effort between the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development and TADCO.
So this will be the one of many. What will come out of this is that we're going to have the data as to who is producing what. We're going to, because there's a registration, we're going to reach out to them individually and have a further conversation with them if they need funding, what they are doing, have some inspections on the farm, because Tobago's biggest issue is consistency, and we have to fix that. But we also have to engage persons in terms of what they are doing in terms of making it better.
The consultation also featured a question and answer session that helped address any concerns from the participants.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Viewers, welcome back. And there was some heavy discussions in the studio here, some heavy discussions with my guests, Shade Titus and Melanie Morton, both representing the Rule Number 1 Foundation. And they're going to tell us a little bit more about it, as well as tell us about a student fundraising event that they've got coming up. So I want to start this morning with you, Shade. Tell us about Rule Number 1 Foundation and what it's all about.
Well, some teachers and I were in the staff room talking, and we decided that we have to be the change. We can't just talk about it. And we know that the schools are experiencing a little bit of financial difficulties.
What school are we talking about?
Well, I currently teach at Bishop's High School.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And we know, but not only Bishop's High School, but all schools are experiencing some financial issues, and parents and students are all experiencing this. So we decided to not only talk about changing things, but being the change. So we decided to make a foundation that we will come together and help in any way that we can do fundraisers for any school, not just ours.
Oh!
But we started at our school, but do fundraisers for any school, any students, because we know, especially after COVID, a lot of people lost jobs, things are hard, 33% raising on the flour. So we want to see how we can help in any way.
All right. Now, Melanie, I want to know how you got involved in all of this. And you know, Shade did mention here that it started with being at Bishop's High School, and as a teacher, they were having a conversation and stuff. And I want to know how you got involved in this.
All right. So anything to deal with fundraising.
Not particularly Bishop's High School.
Not particularly Bishop's High School, but
all
you know, but you know, helping on a whole in terms of community base. It's something that I see myself getting into. So when I got the call from Shade to be a part, it wasn't anything to say no to. You know, it's something that I said I will be a part of nonetheless.
All right, and I have to say that I love the initiative, and as Shade mentioned, it is not just about one school, but it's about all schools being able to support and lend your assistance. All right, so tell us about this this fundraising event that you've got coming up, and who stands to benefit? Is it one school or is it all schools?
Well, we started at home.
I see Melanie laughing there because viewers, there was a little discussion offset about schools attended, and there was just one school in Tobago. There's just one school in Tobago where the students always had a particular look, and you knew who they were, even in plain clothing. You knew what school they attended by the look. Okay. I went to Scarborough Second Compre, but these other students at that particular school had a particular look, and so there was just a little debate about prestige school and not prestige school. I'm just laying it out there. But go ahead. Let's talk.
I mean, I must say, I've taught at Scarborough Second and had a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Right, so I have no bones about any school.
Okay.
Right, but we started at home because we knew about some students who were experiencing financial issues, and graduation is coming up, and we want to see a smile on every student's face. So we decided we're going to do a 90s party, and invite the students of the 90s, our
90s area.
Our year group. We know we want to party. We have been inside for so long, and we're inviting everyone, not just Bishopians, but anybody who remember the 90s, remember what it looked like then, what they used to wear. We are inviting everyone to come along. It's a fundraiser to help the students graduate. And who knows, if someone from another school comes and says they need help, we don't mind, the foundation doesn't mind helping other schools, other students as well.
All right, I really like this. Somebody's suggesting here that, you know, maybe they should wear their school uniform from back in the day.
We might have another party for that if you could fit it to your school uniform.
Jeez, the price for the person who could still fit into that school uniform from back in the day, definitely it won't be me. I can safely say it won't be me. All right, now when is this happening?
July 2nd. We are using Bishop's High School Hall because, well, as teachers there, we just asked our principal if we could use the hall to raise funds for the students who are graduating this year. So that's where it will be.
All right. Well, tell us about what is the evening supposed to look like, Mel?
All right. So it's, as stated, it's a 90s party. So we're going to have three of the top DJs, well, three top DJs in Tobago. All right.
Would you be among, because I know you're one of the...
Well, yes.
Well,
two other we can't be biased, but you know, we have three top DJs. All right, that would be Showtime Song Machine, and we also have King K, all representing and being a part of Bishop's High School. As we say, we start at home. You lay the foundation at home, and then we branch out from there. So as stated, it's a 90s party, so we're gonna be giving you all the hits from
I'm trying to think back
90s.
to the hits of the 90s.
Well, I mean, there's so many. There's Ace of Base. I mean, I'm a hip hop fan, so.
Well, yeah, that was the era, definitely.
Right. So we thinking about Tupac, Biggie, and the list goes on. And of course, we can't forget our local music, soca, and reggae and dancehall for sure. That would have been the era where dancehall would have been at a really top level. Yeah.
And persons are asking, what is the cost? How are we helping? How are we supporting? What's the cost?
Only $100.
Okay.
Only $100 for tickets, right? And you can join your Rule Number One Foundation page, and you can contact me. You can contact Melanie, and we have tickets for you guys. They're going quickly.
So there's a Facebook page.
There's a Facebook page, and we are inviting people to join. And if there's anything else that you would like us to be a part of, we would gladly be a part of it.
Now you said is it that persons can join this foundation?
Yes.
It's not an exclusive foundation.
It's not an exclusive foundation.
And who can join? Because I'm particularly interested in who can join.
Anyone can join.
Anyone can join.
Ria, you could join as well,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that you attended Bishop's High School.
No, not at all, because we have a parent whose child is in Bishop's, but she never came to Bishop's High School. Sia Severin, she said she loved the initiative and she wanted to be a part of it. We don't have any exclusive club here.
Okay.
It is for anyone who's willing to help. As I said, we are about being the change and not just talking about it.
All right. And what time on the 2nd is this event carded for?
We are we're starting at 7, but we don't know when it's going to come to party at 7 o'clock.
Yes, we know the Tobago time or Trinbago time. If we say 7, we're looking at 8. 9 o'clock is a good kind of
time to
get
in and
I don't want anyone to forget, we are encouraging people to dress in the 90s theme, 90s
I'm trying to think back.
So you're thinking about baggy,
That's right.
baggy pants, palazzos,
butterfly caps.
Yes,
We want you all to come and dress because we have prizes for the best dressed male, best dressed female in their 90s clothes.
I tell you, and it's an era that you cannot forget. But these ladies are certainly tipping their ages here. Yeah, the baggies, the tips, they're tipping their age. And my guy over here, camera number 1, he was back in the day, But it's happening. Remember, it's $100 per ticket, happening on the 2nd of July. Anton Parks, do you remember that era? He certainly does. He wasn't. You should see some of his old photos, baggy jeans and stuff. All right, looking like, anyway, but I'm going to leave it there. But ladies, thank you for being on the program with us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and you can contact Shade or Mel on their Facebook page, and that is the number one.
Rule number one.
Rule number one, not the number one, but rule number one. That's right, rule number one. You can check them out on social media, and you can contact them for tickets as well. All right, well, viewers, we are going to leave it there. Remember, we've got lots coming up on Tobago Updates, so stay tuned to our station. We've got lots happening, pre-budget shows, live budget show, as well as post-budget, and you can catch us later on this evening, special edition of For the Hour. You don't want to miss it. So it's happening right here on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we're going to call it a wrap for today. Remember to stay safe. Julian, we're missing you. I just need to let you know, wherever you are, we're missing you. We can't wait to have you back with us, God willing, next week. All right, so stay safe. Remember, viewers, wear your mask. Come on, girl, you got to say this with me. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
Yeah. Sanitize.
Sanitize.
And socially distance.
Good morning. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sex. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Good morning. Put a smile on your
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Pre-qualification notice deadline 30th June 2022. The Tobago Regional Health Authority TRHA is updating its current list of pre-qualified contractors, suppliers, consultancy firms and sole traders to ensure compliance with the mandate of the procurement regulations of Trinidad and Tobago. All interested contractors and suppliers desirous of entering into business arrangements with the TRHA are invited to engage in the pre-qualification of suppliers registration process. For more information, visit the following link: trha.page.link/tenders.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me, together we stronger. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago. Good morning to yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson. Let's get started into the news in 90 seconds. Amidst the rising cost of wheat flour, TADCO will soon be supplying alternative flour to Tobago. At yesterday's post-executive media briefing, Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Letitia Charles Pantin, announced that TADCO has an agreement with Novo Farms to produce flour from dasheen and cassava. Processing will take place at the Shore Park Parking House. Special equipment is also on the way to facilitate the processing of alternative flour. Meanwhile, efforts are on the way to supply poultry farmers with free chicks and feed to reduce the food costs to Tobago. All right. Fishermen can now enjoy gas rebates again. According to the Assistant Secretary of Food Production, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Nigel Tate, gas rebates are available for fishermen. It allows fishermen to receive 12 cents per litre of gasoline, 10 cents per litre of diesel, and 75 cents per litre of oil. To qualify for the rebates, fishermen and their vessels must be registered and be able to present the necessary documentation, including receipts. Rebates can be claimed at the Fisheries Department at the Millshift building. Now to news from Trinidad. Attorney General Attorney General Reginald Amor refused to answer questions from the media relating to his dismissal by a Miami court from representing this country in the Piaco International Airport corruption matter. Amor represented former Finance Minister Brian Quaitong in a similar matter years ago, but failed to declare the extent of his involvement in the case. The AJ hosted a press conference yesterday to address the implementation of procurement legislation. When members of the media questioned him about the Miami court matter, Amor refused to answer, stating he does not want to create another Section 34 situation that will further delay the trial. All right, and of course, I mean, that's been something that's been raising a whole lot of concerns throughout the country, and there's some people that are saying that this whole situation involving the Attorney General kind of sort of undermines the integrity of his office, especially since, you know, as the Attorney General, he's supposed to represent the state in any matter locally or internationally. Now moving on, we see on the eve, I mean, today's budget day, and on the eve of budget day, there were some things announced. Now, in addition to some of those measures from the agriculture sector, in how are we going to address some of the food price challenges, we are also going to be experiencing, well, the workers in the reforestation unit and so on, they're going to be experiencing some salary increases. And I am assuming that we might be hearing a little bit more about that today when Chief Secretary Falia Gustin makes a budget presentation in the House today. And of course, yes, as I am speaking to you about the budget presentation, I am here at the Assembly Legislature right outside as we are getting set for a very big day in Tobago, the THA budget presentation. And very soon we're going to have people in here as we get started. It starts at 10 a.m. and of course, you know, Tobago Updates has got you covered with post and pre-show and a post-show as we discuss what is to come out of this presentation. It will be the first delivered by Chief Secretary and the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Falia Gustin, with the first presentation that he makes since being elected into office in December last year. Now, we are also expecting a budget presentation that will be focused on green policies, meaning that we are going to be dealing with climate change mitigation measures and so on. How are we going to be developing our island to ensure that climate change matters are at the heart of some of the things that we do so that we reduce our impact on the environment and we can, allow for the environment to remain as much as it can be so that we can continue to enjoy it. It can continue to be part of our tourism product. And we know that tourism is extremely important to Tobago's development as it is the basis of our economy. And with the last 2 years being very hard on Tobago, as it has been in the rest of the world with the COVID-19 pandemic, we are also looking forward to see what comes out of that. I mean, of course, we need to ensure that we have our beaches already there. I mean, we are also right now dealing with sargassum seaweed, and that's been a challenge. We saw in the last few weeks the Division of Food Security, they've been going around to selected beaches trying to remove some of that sargassum seaweed. Now there's a challenge in how do we use that sargassum seaweed, because recently an article, whilst we've known that it can be used for plant fertilizers, an article recently stated that there might be some challenges because sargassum seaweeds leaves behind lead and metal in the soil. So, I mean, because this is still a relatively new phenomenon, scientists have not yet sorted out what is going to happen. But of course, we will be continuing to bring you all of the coverage that you need for the budget presentation. It's going to be a very big day for Tobago, the TH's budget. It's always a very big day in Tobago, and we are looking forward to see what happens. But join us again at 9:30 this morning, in just about an hour's time. And we will be starting our pre-show budget presentation, where we will be discussing a little bit about what can we expect. We have an esteemed panel of experts that are lined up for you, and we'll be giving you analysis that can be found nowhere else. So stay locked to Tobago Updates, and we'll be bringing you all the updates. Well, that's it from me, Candice Jackson. and we'll see you again at 9:30.
Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.